Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. If you're watching our channel for the first time, I would just recommend please subscribe to our channel and watch our videos till then to get the complete benefit out of it. So in this video, what we are going to discuss is we already released Java Streams coding questions part 1. So many of you have already watched it, liked it, and many of you have asked for the part 2 of it. So this is the part 2 of the Java Streams coding questions and answer. So watch till the end to get the complete benefit out of it. So with this series, the advantage is you can crack any Java Streams coding questions. So we will come up with another video to answer the theory questions efficiently in Java. That's in the upcoming video. So watch this video till the end and subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell icon. Let's get started.
So the question is, we are given with list of integers. We have to print the numbers which are multiples of 5. So we have to find those number which are multiples of 5, which means those numbers should be divisible by 5. So that is the expectation. Let's see how to do it. So here we are given with an array of numbers. Okay, so we have to find those numbers which are divisible by 5. As I already told, it should be completely divisible by 5. The mod should be 0. So let's see how to do it. First thing what we have to do is we have to start streaming. This is the first thing. And after that, we have to filter those numbers which are divisible by 5. So basically, so I'll go to number divisible by 5 means mod should be equals to 0. So maybe we can print it. So let's run this and see the outcome. Okay. So now you can see these are all the numbers which are divisible by 5. 10, 25, 30, 50, and 15. So 7 is not printed, 42 is not printed because they are not divisible by 5. So this is very easy problem. Just you have to know is like mod operation and filter strategy. I hope you understood. Let's move on to the next question. And the next question is reverse each word of a string using Java streams. So we'll be given a string. We have to reverse each word of the string. So let's see how to do it. So here we are given with a string, okay? That is Java streams are awesome. So what we have to do is we have to reverse each of these words and print the result. So high level logic could be like we have to take each of this word, we have to reverse it and we have to put it back to a sentence format by adding the space in between. So in Java strings, right, there is no reverse method. So for that we have to use string builder. Like string builder, if I create, right, string builder has a reverse method. This is for information those who don't know about this method. So by using this reverse, you can reverse the strings. Okay. So our requirement is to reverse each word of the string, not the entire string. So if the we'll discuss both the approach maybe. So the requirement is we have to reverse each word in a this given string. So first thing is let's take this sentence and we have to split based on space. So we will get the words array. That's the first step. After that, we have to stream it. Okay. So there is no direct stream, but we have to use array stream. So if I click on this, array stream will come. And in the mapping, what we have to do is we have to take each word. So in the mapping, we have to take each word and so here we have to basically convert this into string builder. I already told you with string, we can't reverse. With string builder, we can reverse. Once we reversed it, we have to convert it back to string format. You can ask me why? Because we have to put that in the final string sentence format. So we'll go with collect. So in collect, what we have to do is now we got, so if you see the whole flow, we took the sentence, split it into strings using space. So we got Java streams are awesome, are 4 words now. So that we have mapped to string builder and reversed it. Now we are collecting those four strings. So how we have to put it? So we have to basically put it like take every string and put space in between. So in collectors, there is a method called joining. We will join the strings based on what delimiter. So if there is a prefix suffix requirement, that also we can add. But here our requirement is simple. We just have to add the space. Okay. So now we have to basically store this result. So we can say reversed sentence. So we can say reverse sentence and we can print the result and check. So this print is reversed sentence is. We'll just print it. Okay. So let's run it. So we got the result like reverse sentence is. You can see Java is reversed as AVAJ. Same thing with the rest of the words. So this is what the whole reverse is what we did. But if it was only maybe reversing the entire string, it was very simple. Like just go with this new builder and do a reverse and print it. So you don't need any of the streaming mechanism there because it's just a normal reverse. I hope you got it. So there is no reverse method in string, so that's why we went ahead with the string builder. So we started streaming here. We got every string out of this sentence, and that is mapped to string builder and reversed, and we are collecting back. So we got this final reverse string here. I hope this solution is very clear to you. If you have any questions, you can ask me. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. Along with that, one of the very much important thing is practice. So take this question, don't see the solution, practice yourself. So that will help you to basically learn Java 8 very fast. We'll move on to next question. Let's move to next question. So the question is, we have to find the sum of first 10 natural numbers. So this is a simple question. So we have to find the sum of first 10 natural numbers, 1 to 10. So let's see how to do it. So we have to find the sum of first 10 natural numbers. In Java 7 world, what it was very simple. Like it was like run a loop starting from I equals to 1 and till including 10 I plus plus. Do a sum. Straightforward. But in Java 8, how to mimic this iteration behavior? So I have already discussed iterating examples in the previous videos. But if you have not seen, that's fine. Either you can go and check out, or here also I'll explain it briefly. So what we have to do is how to basically iterate in the Java stream like the way we used to do in for loop, for example. So for that, what we have to do is we have to use something called int stream. So in int stream, we have to specify a range. So here you can see, right? There are methods of range closed, range, iterate, and other iterate things. I'll go with range closed. So why I'm showing this is whenever you are using any library, understand the different methods which are present. That will be helpful for your day-to-day coding. Okay. So here if you see, right, range closed, start and end is inclusive. So means if I pass 1 and 10, both are inclusive of the range. So if I go with the second one, end is exclusive. So this is what we have to understand it whenever we are using any library. Okay. So range closed means both are inclusive. Starting from 1, go up till 10. Once you reach it, just do a sum. Once you get the sum, I'll just assign it to some variable. So this is what we got. Let's print the result. So print sum of first, I would say, n natural numbers. It's always good to write proper, I would say, the log messages. Here it is, it's a display message, but same thing we have to write for log. So a detailed one will help to basically understand it when we encounter an issue. So sum of first n natural numbers is. So I'll just run this. You can see we got 55, which is a correct answer. So it started from 1, went up till 10, both are inclusive, added all the numbers and printed. Even though this solution is simple, what is the takeaway from this problem is understand about int stream. This is useful for iterative purpose. If you want to play with some range of numbers, then this is a function and this is a library you have to use. I hope it's very clear. Let's move on to the next question. Let's move on to the next question. So the question is we have to print the first 10 even numbers. So the question is clear, I think, right? We have to print the first 10 even numbers. Let's see how to do it. So the question is we have to print the first 10 even numbers. So in Java 8, we have already explored a couple of examples to come up with a range of numbers. So for that, we have to use int stream. If you have not aware, then I would recommend watch my previous videos. So I'll go with the range closed. As I already told you, it is an inclusive of the start and end range. So the first even number is 2, which we know. The last one is 20. Why I'm restricting to 20 here? Because I'm interested in the first 10 even numbers. Okay. Is this enough? Like if I do, for example, print, is it enough? No, because we want even number. So this range close will give me like 2 to 20, all the numbers. So I have to add a filter. So in filter, I have to specify the number, I can say number should be divisible by 2, means mod of the number should be 0. Once you get it, just print those numbers. So we'll print that number. Ask is simple. Take the range of numbers, find the even in that and print it. You can see it has printed 2, 4, 6, all the numbers. So let's say if the ask was to find out the sum, then it was very straightforward, when which we know already because we have already solved similar problem for the sum. So I'll just say sum and we have to store this result. So I can say it is int sum. So I can add a sys out here. This is out. I'll just say sum of first. I can say n even. So here I can declare the n. Why I'm declaring this is because it will be a generic one. So instead of hard coding, if you make it generic, we can extend the code. So even numbers is, we have to add the sum here. So let's run it. We got the result. So first we found the 10 even numbers, the first 10 even number. After that, we even explored how to do some, you can do any operation on top of it. So I hope this solution is very clear to you. Let's move on to next question. So let us move on to next question. So the question is we have to check given two strings are anagram or not. So we have to use Java streams to find given two strings are anagrams or not. Let's see how to do it and we'll understand what is anagram first and after that we'll understand the logic to basically compare two strings are anagram or not. So here you can see we are given a two strings str1 and str2. So we have to compare these two strings are anagram or not. Two strings are anagrams only when if both of the strings contain same set of characters including the frequency but they're shuffled. If you see here, right, the first one contains ABC, second one contains BAC. So basically both of them contain same set of characters, that is ABC, but they are shuffled. So first we'll see, is there any direct way to compare these two strings to see whether they are anagram or not? So there is no direct way to compare the two strings are anagram or not, because not it's not required for all the use cases. So it's not in the library. So then how we can do it? So let's discuss some approaches. Okay. So two strings are called anagram if they contain same set of characters. So we can't compare str1 with the str2 directly, okay? Because it will always return false unless both of them are already in the sorted state. So this will always return false, except let's say if the case is like this, but most of the other cases it will return false. So in that case, what we have to do? So a simple way is we have to sort the strings. So here first string would be ABC. So if I sort the second string, right? So it will become ABC again. So this BAC, if I sort, I'll get ABC. Then if I compare this first string and second string, right? Then we can get to know whether it is anagram or not. So the logic is simple. We have to sort both the strings. You can ask me why both? Because in this example, we can see ABC and BAC, but there can be CAB also. So we don't know. So we'll sort both the strings and compare. So that's how we will basically implement. If the answer is true, means the comparison results in true means they are anagram. If it is false means they are not anagrams. So that is the logic. And this is not fully optimized. This is just for Steam example I'm explaining. But optimal approach is a bit different. And another thing is whenever you are attending any interview, right, it's always better to confirm. For example, if two strings are given, whether the result is case sensitive or case insensitive. So it's better to confirm that. If you simply assume and write the solution, right, interviewer may ask the further question. So it's better to confirm with them. So let's try to implement this. So maybe what I'll do is I'll start with a Java 7 version so that it will be more clearer. After that, I'll convert the same thing to Java 8. So first thing what we have to do, the basic case is if they are of not same length. So if the length of both the strings are not equal, then we are 100% sure they can't be anagram. So that is the base case which we have put. So I'm just returning false here. So if you see the logic, so basically what we have done is like we are calling anagram function here and that we are printing here. Okay. So first check is done. Next thing we discuss, we have to sort it and compare. So as you know, in string, there is no direct sorting possibility. There is no kind of library function to sort a string. So what you have to do is you have to convert a string to a character array, then you can sort it. So it's str1 to char array, and the next one is char array 2. So we can say str2 char array. You can even say first char array, second char array also. It's always good to give meaningful names so that it is easy to understand. So we'll return. So basically we'll compare whether they are equals, because once we sort, if they're anagram, then value will be equal. So once it is done, so it's suggesting another approach since it is an array. So we'll go with that. Array is equal. So once it is compared, but there is one missing thing. We have not added the sorting logic. So basically here we have to sort it. So we just first converted into character array. Now we have to sort it. So once we sort, we don't need to store it back because it will update the original array itself. So this is another thing. Whenever you're using any library, understand whether we have to capture the return result or it will update the given input itself. It's good to know that. So this is the changes. Let me run it. So you're seeing given a string cell anagram. Let's say I'll first go with the negative case by increasing the length. So this should anyway immediately returns false. So this is done. And next case would be like same length but maybe different characters. So this is another case. So this should also return false. So whenever you are writing any code, right, this is one of the advice. Try with different cases so that you will understand whether your code will work for all. Just don't go with one or two cases given by the interviewer. Many of the times what will happen is you will miss out a lot of corner cases. So another case which we have to check is, let's say if there are duplicate characters. So even then also we should be able to return true or false, because if here if you see, right, the frequency of A is matching, frequency of B is matching, so it should be true. So this is the Java 7 version of the solution. I hope it's very clear. As I told, why I wrote is like it's easy to understand the Java 8 version of it. So that's the plan. Now let us try to basically code it. Let me just take out all these things because we'll replace all these things with the Java 8 version. So first check, let it remain because that's a base check which is required. So I'm returning here, or maybe first I'll write the logic and after that I'll add return. So str1, that is a first string, and we'll convert that into character. So str1 we will add char. So what it does is it will generate the int stream, means it will generate the ASCII values of the characters. This is one way to convert into character format. It's not fully character format, but it's one way to basically convert the string to basically ASCII values of the character. There is no to char array usage, because if I do to char array, the problem is I will not get the stream on it. So character array, I can't stream it. So one of the option is like we can use chars. So here what we can do is once we use chars, so we can this will basically generate a stream. This is an int stream. Like if you want, I can even print and show you. I have already explained in other videos, but if you have not watched, so if I run it now, you can see in the ASCII format. I think you will get an error because I have to have, for example, I'll add just false just for our reference. So you can see it's printing 97, 97, 98 because that is an ASCII value of AAB. That's what we have written here. So I hope you got it what it does. The next thing what we had to do is once we started streaming this, let's call dot sorted. This is another thing. So why I'm calling sorted is like if you remember the previous logic, we were sorting the character array. So that's what I'm doing here. Once that is done, what I'll do is I'll map this back to character object, because what we have seen is here it is an ASCII value. Okay, this is not a character. So we need a character to compare it then. So I'll just convert this into character. So we need a typecasting here. Once this is done, I'll convert into toList. So I'm converting the ASCII value of character to character, and that I'm putting into a list. Now what I'll do is I'll compare this with the second list. Same logic. I'll just take out the whole thing and I'll just copy this and I'll paste it here. Only the changes, I'll just go with a second string. That's it. So once this is done, I'll return the value. So you can ask me what to list equal does, like list one dot equals list two does. So you can hover over it and check. It will compare the complete, like it will first compare the length, it will compare the values of the list. So if it is matching, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So this is the logic. I hope you understood. Let's try to run and check. So we got the answer as anagrams, and we can go with one more case because the solution will work. I'll not extend further. So we have to get false. Also we got. So I hope you understood the solution. First is the length check. Second, this is a boundary case. This is one of the important thing because we don't need to run this always. If the length itself is not matching, it's better to exit there. So if not, we have to compare the two character arrays, and for that we have to convert that into sorted format and do it. There is no direct way we can sort the character array. So for that I have converted to dot chars. It will generate the ASCII value that I'm sorting and putting it back to the character format, and that I'm converting into list and comparing. So what I would recommend is, after watching this video, just take this question, try to write yourself and understand. So that will help you to learn better. So let's move on to next question. Let us move on to next question. So the question is, we have to find sum of all the digits of a number in Java 8. So I hope the question is clear. So we'll be given with a number. We have to add all the digits in the number and we have to find the sum of it. So that is a problem statement. Let's see how to do it. So the question is, we are given with number and we have to find out the sum of all the digits of this number. So I'll just explain the Java 7 version once because Java 7 is a bit tricky so that you'll appreciate how easy it is in Java 8. So in Java 7, right, we were doing this division, mod, etc. So basically the logic was like if the number is greater than 0, what we were doing is main logic was like extracting one digit at a time, like starting from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and summing that digit. So to extract the digit, what we were doing was we were doing first mod operation. So it's like this sum plus number mod 10 we were doing. So that it was extracting the last digit first, that is 5. So sum is 5 now. And the next thing is we should even divide this number also by 10 so that next time 1, 2, 3, 4 should be considered for mod operation. For that, what we were doing was number, we were dividing it by 10. So this was the logic. I hope you might have remembered. If you are not aware, then this is the logic in Java 7. So it's a bit of math involved. So if you see, it has printed 15. 15 is the sum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is what we used to do in Java 7 world. But how we can do this better in Java 8? So let's try to understand that. First thing is, like doing this division mod with streams is bit tricky because this is like we are repeating also, right? This is bit tricky. So the best way is what we can do is we can convert this number to string. So let's say if I see string, is there any way? No, there is no way. It's an integer. So what we can do is we can use something called string dot value of, and we can pass this number. So now the number is in string format. Once it is in string format, what I will do is this is a bit easier. So first I'll convert it into chars. Chars, we already know it will generate an integer stream. Okay, so that is the first thing. Chars will generate the integer stream, means like it will take the number in the first line that will be converted to strings, and each of this characters ASCII value is kind of generated here in stream. When we do dot cats, it will generate the ASCII value of it. After that, we have to map it back to a number format. So let's see how to do it. So let's take a, maybe we can say it's ch, and so here I already told you it will be in ASCII format. Now I'm converting that to a numerical format. So there is an interesting function. It's called as character dot get numerical value ch. So this will give me a numerical value of the character. Okay. Once this is done, I will submit. So it's showing we can use method reference here. So I'm just replacing that, and it's saying number is not used. So we'll assign it to some. So this is the logic. I'll explain you in depth. So maybe just for the readability purpose, I'll just put it in different lines so that it is easy to understand. Let's try to run and see the output. We got 15 as the answer, which was earlier also. But what I don't understand, like this is a question from many. I am not understanding what is happening here and what is the outcome of this. Because in if it was Java 7, I would have used system out println, but here how to do it? The best way is use peak. Peak is designed for that. So if you want to know what is happening in the previous step, so this is a way to debug it. So I'll say ch s out, and I can say cats output. Here I can mention the value of it. So I'm mentioning the output of the cat step. Okay. So I'll take this whole thing and I'll just add it here. Here I can say get numerical value output so that I can compare what is happening at every step. Now if I run it, you'll understand clearly. If you see here, right? So 49 is what we are printing. That is an ASCII value of 1. And when we do get numeric value at this step, we are getting 1 back, and that we are summing here. Same thing, 52, 51, 3, like that way. So this is a way to debug streams. Okay. So I hope you understood. I'll just remove this because the code is only this much. So if you want to debug, as I told, you can use that. So I hope this solution is clear. So this is a way we can do it in Java 8. This is one of the best way I would say. There may be other ways. This is an easy way. So the scars is one of the useful function you should remember. In Java 7 world, we were using dot, I can just show you here, dot to character array. That is dot to char array we were using in Java 7 world. But with that, the problem is we can't stream it. So that's why I'm going with dot chars. It will generate the integer stream, which is ASCII value of the characters. That after that we are getting the numerical value back and we are summing. I hope it's very clear. Let's move on to next question. So let's move to next question. So the question is, how do you find the most repeated element in the array? So you have to find the most repeated element in the array. Let's see how to do it. So here we have an array of integers. So we have to find out the most repeated element in an array. So each element is repeated a couple of times. So we have to find the maximum repeated element. So if it is a Java 7 question, then what we used to do is we used to maybe create a map. Key is the number and value is the frequency. So first we used to update that. In the next iteration or in the same iteration also we can have something called max count, and we can print the value with the max count. So that's how we used to do it. So in Java 8 world, how to do it? So we have to first anyway iterate over this given numbers. So that's the first step. So let's take this numbers, and we can't directly do stream because there is no stream operation. But when I do this, ID will support. It will make arrays.stream. So once we do this, we have to create map. Same way we do in Java 7 world, right? Even Java 8 also we have to create a map here. So you know, right? While to create the map, we can use collectors dot group by we can use. We have to say on what we have to group. So here what we can say is we can use something called function identity. as you already know, function identity means the object or the value which is kind of coming from the stream. So, so here function identity means like we are streaming on the numbers. So every number is a function identity here. So basically the input, whatever we are getting from the previous step. So that's the function identity here. And we have to count it. So collectors has something called counting. But if you see, we are getting an array here. But if you see, we are getting an error here. So basically, this the whole group by, right? It expects an object. So what we are doing is we are basically sending a primitive type, which is not object. So what we have to do is we have to convert this primitive type to an object. So now what happens is this dot box will generate the stream of integer. Integer is a class. It's an object now. So whatever is coming out, it becomes an object of type integer that we are passing to group by. So I hope it's clear so far. Next is either we can stop here and we can take the output and we can iterate further, but I'll try to show you how we can extend the same thing. So in day-to-day coding, it will be helpful. So what I have to do is if you want to iterate over the map, right, one of the way we can do is using entry set. So if you have done already, you will be knowing. Entry set is nothing but like map contains internally entry class. Entry class contains key and values. So we are basically iterating over the entry set. So we got the entry set here. This is nothing but it's basically we'll get some kind of a so this is nothing but it's a set of entries. Okay. So this is what will get here. So we are getting set of entries here. So next what I'll do is let's start streaming. It's basically now it is streaming a set in simple words of entry class. You can see it has ID also started showing entry. And now what we have to do is we have to find an entry whose value is maximum. How to do is we can use comparator. So we have to use comparator long and I'll directly write the method reference here because we already discussed how to come up with the method reference in a couple of videos. So this is what it is doing. You can ask me why long here, mainly because this collectors.counting will generate a type. You can see map of integer and long. So that's why I'm using comparator with comparing long logic. So once this is done, what we have to do is it will basically return an entry whose frequency is maximum. So I'll map that entry to its corresponding key. Okay. So you can go with normal way, but I'll go here the method reference way, which is easier here. It's get key. So it's basically so I'll let us print it. It will return an optional. So if present, what we'll do is we'll basically print it. You can say most repeated number is, I can just say this element. So here I'll just explain you the logic also, but before that maybe I'll run it once and after that I'll explain the logic one more time. So this should print the most repeated number, that is 3 here. So if you see 3 is appearing once, twice, and here 3 times, 4 times, 3 is appearing. I think rest of the numbers are appearing less than that. So this is the answer. Let's go through the answer one more time and after that we'll move on to the next question. So we are streaming the numbers. We are converting to boxed because this group by requires an object. So that's why we're creating stream of integer here. This collectors dot counting, what it does is it will calculate the count of every key. Here it is nothing but the number we are passing. And this returns map of integer and long. After that, whatever the map we got, we are iterating. We get the entry set out of it. We are streaming that. And we are trying to find an entry whose value is maximum. And here we are getting corresponding key and we are printing. I hope it's very clear. This is one of the interesting questions. This can come as like medium to hard kind of a difficulty in interview. Because if it is a plain Java question or plain Java 7 question, it would have been very straightforward. Java 8, it is bit tricky, but it's doable. So practice this question. This is one of the important things. So what I would say is just take this question, practice it, compare the result. So that's how you will basically learn. And if you are thinking this is a value add to your learning curve, then please like and subscribe to our channel. Let's move on to the next question. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is, so you are given list of student objects. You have to convert that into student summary DTO. So the question is, we have list of student objects. We have to convert this into list of student summary DTO. It's like taking an object of type student and converting it to student summary. Let's try to understand this in detail by looking into the student and student summary DTO object. So here we have student object and student summary DTO. Okay. So I'm using Lombok to basically create all the constructor, getter, setter, etc. So if you have not explored Lombok, I would recommend go and check it out. It is really helpful. So student object has student ID, first name, last name, enrollment date, and what major student have taken and the GPA. In summary, it will contain full name, enrollment duration, and major. So full name is a combination of first name and last name. And enrollment duration is nothing but from this enrollment date, how many years, days, months that student have spent, and major is same. What we have to do is we have to take the student object and convert it to student summary DTO. One of the way it can be done is we can even use Mapstruct. That's one of the famous library. But here we are trying to do it using Java 8. So here we are trying to do with Java 8 streams. So I've created a mapper class. This will basically take the student object, list of student object and convert it to student summary. And here we have created few students with ID, name, last name, and all the enrollment details, major and GPA, etc. So let us try to see how to do it. Because this is one of the real life use case, I would say, because in day-to-day coding also, we can encounter or we may need to do this kind of changes. So let's take the students. So start streaming it. After that, here I'll add a mapper layer. In mapper layer, what we have to do is we have to convert student to, I'll just comment this, later I'll add the actual code. Student, we have to convert this to student summary. Okay, student summary DTO, we can say. And result, we have to maybe put it in a list and return that standard return statement here. So now what we have to populate is this mapping logic. We can write it here only just for modularity and to make it more clearer. I'm writing different methods. So I'm creating private because it's within the class and it's used for only other method. Static, I just want to avoid the object creation, but normally if it is utility, we can go for static. Otherwise, it's better to be non-static. So map to summary DTO. We can even make it more explicit, map to student summary DTO also you can say, just to reduce the length I mentioned this. It will take student as an object because if you see here, right, we are streaming the student object and we are calling the map and that map is calling this method. So it will take every student input. Now we have to basically create full name out of it. So how to do it? So student dot get first name. Let's say if it is null, ideally it will not be, but just for example purpose, optional, I can use of null label. So this is used to handle the null case. If it is null, then what I'll do is I'll just return an empty string. And next thing is, say a similar logic I have to write for the last name as well. So I'll just take this whole thing. So normally first name will not be null. So, but this is just for example I've written. Um, so here I'll just end this and I'll store this result in the full name. Okay, and error is gone. So the next thing is, I hope you understood. We basically extracted the first name and last name, we concatenated and created full name out of it. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, what we need here, if you see, right, we got the full name. Next is an enrollment duration we need. Third is major. Major is a direct mapping. So how to get the enrollment duration? So for the time being, what I'll do is I'll create an object enrollment duration, and here there will be logic will be added. Okay. What I'll do here is I'll just return the result, and after that I'll add the logic. So it's student summary DTO is there. It will take few things. One is full name that I'm passing. If you want to avoid the, for example, spaces, you can go with trim. So this is trim is used to basically trim the leading and trailing spaces. Okay. And next thing is enrollment duration is the second thing we have to pass. Third thing is a major. Even major also, let's say it's a string. So what we can do is we can use option nullable. Let's say ideally this will always be present. This is just for example purpose I'm writing, because if there is a student mean there should be some major. So or else I can say unknown. For some reason it was not updated. So we are handling it gracefully, because always in code, right, we should see how we can handle the changes gracefully. Okay, now the next pending thing is calculating the this duration. Okay, so I'll create a static method. Maybe it will return string. I can call it as compute duration. Okay, and this takes what? We have to calculate the duration. So for that, we have to basically take, we know the enrollment date. Okay, so this we will take it. So caller will provide this because this information will be having. So how to calculate it? The first check is we'll just say if it is null, because it's always good to have all the relevant checks. When we are sure this will be present, we don't need the checks, otherwise it's better to add it. Duration is not specified, and proper return types error messages also is important. It's very much useful when we encounter an issue. So to calculate the, like, how many years, month, or days spent, we don't need to do a lot of any math. There is a library called period. So we can use this library. We have to find out the period between. So this has other methods as well, but I'm interested in period between enrollment date and I will say today's date. Local date dot now. So this will give me the period between enrollment date and the local date. So here what I'll do is, it's a string anyways. I'll construct that period dot get years. How many years? I can just say space years, and Just give a space and period dot get months. I'll just say space months. You can even add days and other things as well. So you can, I would recommend whenever you're using any library, go and check it out what it provides. So you can see all the details are captured here, and it will basically calculate and let you know the duration basically. And we are returning that. Let's use this here. Okay. Um, what does require student dot get enrollment date? You can ask me why I'm just passing enrollment date. I could have sent the student object itself to this method. So one of the I would say recommended thing is whatever is required, only those details you have to share with other methods. You don't need to share the entire object, which is not required. So this method just requires enrollment date, just pass it on that. If it requires one more attribute, just pass that. Let's say if it is requiring majority of the attributes, then go for return sending the object, the entire object. So take this map to summary DTO and add it here. Um, and maybe first I'll show you with the functional DTO style. So first I'll show you the lambda way how we can do it. After that we'll go with method reference. So student is just this. We are taking every student, passing it to map to summary DTO and listing, and we are returning that list. So I'll just replace this with lambda. It's more convenient. And let's run it. We have a couple of objects, and the thing if you have to observe is like in first, in some cases last name is null, in some cases enrollment is null. So these are all the cases we will encounter in day-to-day coding also. So how gracefully we'll handle matters a lot. So let's see the outcome. You can see full name, it's a combination of first name and last name is coming correctly. And when there is no last name, only first name is coming. Enrollment duration, you can see wherever it is specified is correctly calculating. If not, it is specifying the, it's basically returning an empty, uh, it's basically returning a proper response, even for major also. I hope it's very clear. Here, this is a great way to create a modularized code. You can see we have basically broken down this requirement into two or three different methods or meaningful methods, I would say, because modularity is not just creating the methods, creating the meaningful methods so that anybody can understand. If you see, this code is more readable. Like even if you want, you can extract this full name also. Since it's your one line, I did not extract it. So duration we are extracting, and this construction anyway we are doing with this. So try to create more modular readable code so that anybody can understand. I hope this implementation is very clear to you. So explore this period. It may be useful for your future use case as well. Let's move on to next question. Let's move on to next question. So the question is we have to convert a list of strings into map where each string is a key and value is a boolean indicating if the string is palindrome or not. So we'll be given list of strings, we have to convert it into a map where string is a key and value is, it should say whether the given string is palindrome or not. It looks tricky, but it is not. Let's see how to do it. So basically we have to put this string in the map as a key and we have to see whether it is a palindrome or not. So two strings are palindrome if we start comparing the first and last character, and if we increment the first and decrement the last, and if the whole index are matching, then it is a palindrome, as you already know. So if I start with L and the last L, and I'll compare, I'll increment the first index and decrement the last index and compare. So if any time if it is not matching, it's not a palindrome. So that's how it will be done. That's one way to do it. Other way, let's say if we are not interested in any optimized way, Then even we can reverse this and compare. So there are multiple ways we can do it. So our requirement is simple. We have to put this in a map. So let's see how to do it. So first is, as we always do, we'll start with words. We'll start streaming, and we have to collect this to a map. There is a method called map also. So here we are using map because some functionalities of this is useful for us. So what we are doing here, what is my key here? My key is basically the input. So I'll just say str, whatever is coming from the words.stream. Second value. Value is basically a boolean, okay, it should print, where it should capture the given string is palindrome or not. So for that, one of the strategy I can use here is, it's not optimized. As I already told at the end, if we reverse this string and compare with the original string, if they are palindrome, then the result will be true. So string we can't reverse, as you know, we have to go with string builder. So in string builder, I'll just pass this str, the input, and I'll reverse this, and I will basically convert it to string back. So I hope you got it. So this is a given string. So pass it on to string builder, reverse it, convert it to toString. So there is another way it's saying content equals also we can do it. That's another way it's saying, because we don't need to convert it to toString. So either of the approach will work. Next is we just have to print it. So this result, right, we can capture in a map of string, and my value is boolean. So I can say palindrome map. Okay. So I'll just print this. Mm, I'll just say map is, so this will be, okay, let's run this. I'll explain you one more time once it completes. You can see banana is false, apple is false, madam is true, red R is true, and level is true. So it's working fine. It looked a bit tricky, but after the solution, you might have realized it's a very simple one. So we use collectors to map to basically to add the values from the previous step as a key here, and value we are calculating based on this logic. So we have to find its palindrome or not. So we are just reversing and comparing. So I hope it's clear. Let's say the requirement was a bit different. Uh, it's also almost like creating a map, but with a twist. So let's say the question is create a map. Uh, the key will be the first letter of the string. Value will be the list of matching strings. So I'll just repeat. So if the problem statement is like key is the first letter of the string and value is corresponding all the words, a list of words basically. So in that case, how you would have created. So I'll just take the string. I'll take this list and I'll modify for our use case. So I'll just comment this. We will have some words with matching first character. Maybe instead of 11, I can say apricot, so that apple and apricot is matching. Instead of radar, I'll say blueberry, and madam, let it be. So the ask is to make the first letter of the string as a key and corresponding matching strings as values. So I started iterating over the words. So I had to collect it. So here, this is mostly kind of a group by problem. Okay, I'll go with group by. On what basis I have to group? I have to group based on the first character of a string, character of 0. And what I have to do next? That's it. So I had to assign this to character, and because my key is a character, value is basically a list of string. So I can say char to string map. Okay. Uh, I need one more bracket here. So what we did is we just took every character, the first character, and we are grouping by based on that. We don't need to specify value. Automatically, stream will take care. If we need a different value, then we have to specify. Let's run this and show you. And I'll show you if you want to change the value, how we can do it. It's showing A equals to apricot, B equals this, M equals to this one. So it has created a required map out of it. I hope you got it. If you want to try out any other variations, you can do it. Let's say one homework task could be like value could be count of the words instead of list of words. Make it count of words and share it in the comment section so that will become a practice. So as I always say, practice. Don't just see the video. It will not add any value. After seeing the video, take this problem statement, try to practice yourself. Then only you can master this learning. So let's move on to next question. Let's move on to next question. So the question is we have to return the character with minimum frequency. So I'll just repeat the question. We have to repeat the character with minimum frequency. So we'll be given a string. We have to find out a character whose frequency is minimum. So let's see how to do it. So here we are given with this input. So we have to find out the character with minimum frequency. Here B is having minimum frequency. Rest of the characters are having more frequency than B. Okay. So here what I'll do is we have seen similar kind of an example earlier where we did all the operation at one shot only. So here we'll break it down and create multiple steps so that you can understand better. So first what we have to do, we have to basically replace all the space. Okay, so one of the thing what we can do is I'll create process string. So here what I'll do is I'll take this input and replace all spaces in between with no space. So what I'm trying to do is I'll just get banana and apple as one line. So I'll get banana and apple without space. So that's what I'm doing. So there are multiple ways we can, I mean, basically code it. This is one of the way I'm proposing. And after that, what we have to do is we have to basically start iterating. So there is no way we can use two char array because on top of two char array, we can't stream it. So stream does not support that. So we'll go with cats. Cats, we already know it will generate an ASCII character of a character, ASCII character of the character which we are passing. And I'll just go to map to object. So here what I'm doing is I'm taking every character, and so here character will be in ASCII format which we already discussed in different examples. So that I'll convert into character. Why I'm doing this is because in order to put it into a map where my key is basically the character. So I'll use function identity. As you know, function identity will basically means whatever the input coming from the previous step. So the second part we need is we need a count. So we have to count it also. So once we do this, what I'll do is I'll just assign this result to a map. So map of character, and value will be long because this group by will return a long value. Character frequency map I've created. So this is the required stuff. So this is the first step. We created a map because to find out the character with minimum frequency, we have to create a map with character as a key and values be frequency, and we have to compare the frequency and get the minimum character. So the next thing is we got this character frequency map. So let's try to get this. So So we have to iterate over this character frequency map. So what I'll do is like here, let's send this guy. So character frequency, as you know, to iterate over the map, we can use entry set. Okay, entry set is nothing but set of entry objects. In this, we have to find out the minimum entry. So what we can do is map dot entry dot comparing by value. So what this does is it will basically take every here we have to use stream every entry in the entry set, compare by its value, and in that it will find out the minimum one. So that's what we are interested. So it will basically return an optional map of entry. So it will return that and just send us and min frequency character. So just to make it like here I have to specify the type, that is character, and long is my value. So optional, let's import it. Next step is I have to print it. So it's basically returning an optional. You have to see if minimum frequency character, if it is present, then we have to print it. So for some reason, if it is not present, let's say if the given input has some issues, null or other cases, so this will handle it. So we'll say character with min frequency is, we have to get the character out of it, get the key is what we are interested, and if you want to know the frequency of it, then I can say its frequency is min character dot get value. So this is how we can do it. You can add else part, but for our use case, it is not required. I can just say no character found with min frequency. So this is how it will be done. Maybe we can run and see. So I'll explain it one more time once we see the result. So we are getting B as answer, frequency is 1. So what we have done is we have taken this input, replaced all the spaces with no space. So it become one whole string. And we started iterating. We just mentioned dot chars and convert this into character, ASCII value to character, and we collected here with the counter. Next is we have found the minimum one, minimum entry by comparing its values. After that, we are printing the result. So let's say you have to just merge all these things. How it can be done? I'll just take a minute to show how we can merge this. So we can just take this whole thing. That's the first thing. So we got this, and next thing what we have to do is we are already collecting. So let's go to this entry set logic, and we can go up to this. So this is the next thing. This bracket we have to close. Um, one more. So we basically combined this and found the minimum. Once we found the minimum, we have to add a logic to print it. So I can say if present, I will just print this because if I want to do it extra, I'll just print this. So I can say character. So here I will basically specify the character, and I'll just comment this code and let me run it. So you can even have this in the first place. So processed, you can have this. So I hope you understood. It's very straightforward. We just took all the different pieces and stitched together. So let's try to run this. We got B and the count is 1. So I hope you understood how to basically find out the character with minimum frequency. Let's move on to next question. So the next question is we have to print the distinct numbers which ends with 1 in ascending order. So we'll be given list of numbers. We have to find out the number which ends with 1 and we have to print those number in descending order. So I hope the question is clear. Let's see how to do it. So here we are given with list of integers, okay? So we have to find out all the numbers which ends with 1 and print the result in ascending order. So all this 11, 21, 31, all these things a number ends with 1, okay? So how can I find it? One of the easiest ways, if I do a mod with 10, if I get 1 as the answer, that means it's a number which ends with 1. It's a straightforward one. So let's try to do the same thing here, okay? So basically, so here what we'll do is we'll start iterating on the numbers and we'll start streaming. So once we start streaming, we have to filter those numbers whose mod of 10, right? Whose mod with the 10 is equals to 1. And in that, let's find the distinct also because that's another use case. And in the next step, we have to sort it. Once you sort, what we can do is we have to print it. So I'll just print it here. So here we are taking every number and we are checking whether it ends with 1. After that, we are filtering based on distinct. We are sorting it and we are printing the result. Let's see the result. So you can see it has printed all the numbers like 11, 21, 31, all those things in the ascending order, and all these numbers ends with 1. Let us say interviewer changed the question a bit. A follow-up is asked. You have to find all the numbers which basically contains 1 anywhere else. So and print the response in the descending order. So the question is you have to find the numbers which contains 1 anywhere. It need not be in the beginning and you have to print those numbers. So how to do it? Let's maybe comment this. So first anyway we have to iterate on numbers, we have to stream it. Next is the filtering criteria, how we have to filter it. So a easy way is convert this number to string. So string dot value of the number. So once you get this string format, then it is pretty straightforward. Contains check whether it contains 1 anywhere. If so, then what we have to do is again distinct and we have to print it in the descending order. So we have to specify our comparator strategy, it's reverse order, and we have to print it. So we have to print all the numbers which contains 1. It can be in the beginning and middle anywhere. So let's see the response. So now you can see we got 150, 145, 102 because it contains 1 somewhere. So this is a second variation. Let's say the third variation. It's a very simple one. Uh, we have to just print those numbers which contains 1 in the beginning. So we just change this condition to just change this condition to starts with and run it. So what we are doing is we are checking all the string which starts with 1. So you can see 150, 145, all these things contains 1 in the beginning. So we got the response. So basically in this, right, we discussed 3 variations. So the first variation is 1 will be at the end. Second variation is number 1 will be anywhere. Third variation is number 1 will be in the beginning. So this is how you have to practice. Take a problem, try different variations so that you'll understand better. Otherwise, what will happen is when you go and sit in an interview or when you are doing day-to-day coding, your mind will not think in all the directions. So it's better to try out different things when you're practicing so you can train your mind. I hope it's very clear to you. Let's move on to next question. So let's move on to next question. So the question is we have to print all the employees who have not received a hike in the salary last year and increase their salary by 1500. So we have to print all the employees who have not received the salary hike and add 1500 to them. So let's see how to do it. So here we have an employee class with name, salary, and last raise date. Last raise date means when last time the salary has raised. If the salary raise date is more than 1 year old, we'll add 1500 to their salary. So that is the problem statement. So here we have some employees and the salary and the last salary raise date is mentioned. So first what we have to do is we have to see last salary raise date is more than 1 year. Okay, for that, what we can do is we can calculate more than 1 year date. So 1 year old date. So it's can use local date and we'll use now. Well, minus years that is 1. So which will give last year's date. Now what we have to do is we have to start streaming employees. So that's the first thing. We have to filter those employees so whose salary hike date is more than 1 year old, or if it is null. So we'll consider both the cases. So first case would be if the salary raised date is null, or if it is more than 1 year old. So it's employee dot get salary raised date. If it is before 1 year old date, whatever we calculated. If it is before than that, then what we have to do is we have to increase their salary. So if I just do this map, right? Map, for example, employee dot set salary. So for that, first I have to get the current salary and add 1500 to it. So if I just uh, click on for each or any other step, right? It will not work. Maybe I'll just first add the for each and I'll tell you why it is not working. Still, there is an error with the map. Why? Because it is taking an employee object. Once we do this set salary, it's returning void. So it will not work. So one way we can solve is we have to return an employee object. So that time it will work. So let's say I will just say return employee back. So it will take an employee and we are updating the salary, and from this bracket we are returning an employee. That employee is fed to the next for each loop. So this way, what we are doing is we are taking every employee whose last salary raise date is more than 1 year old or not mentioned, that is null, then we'll increase the salary rate. Let's run this. So here we have got all the 3 employees, and the fourth one is not coming because if you see Bob name is not coming because Bob's salary raised less than 1 year because it's 7th month. So rest of the folks either last raise date is null or it is more than 1 year old. So their record is coming here. I hope you got it. This is one way to do it. Let's say if you don't want to use map, you can go for peak also. Peak will also solve this problem. So peak is normally used for debugging purpose, but this is another use case where we can update the value also with peak. So let me run and show you. So you'll get the same result. So that is another thing. You can see all their salaries increased by 1,500, except Bob. Bob is not belongs to this. So let's say if there is another variation of the problem. So here we went ahead with the last raise date, but let's say we have to do with the salary. So maybe I would say last raised amount. So this is pretty straightforward, but I'll give you a variation for homework which you can try out. So here I'm just updating this, and even I will update my toString also. You can even use Lombok also, but here I have used hard-coded toString. So here what we have to do is if the salary last raise is 0, or here if it is, for example, salary raised is 100. Here also maybe let's make it 0. Here I'll make it as 1,000. So if there is a salary raise happened to the employee last year, so if that is the case, what I'll do here is if let's say get last raise salary amount if it is equals to 0. So identify those employees who have not received any salary hike last time and increment that salary by 1,500. So here we made uh, Alias and Charlie to go in that. So both of their salaries increased. Last raise amount was 0. Okay. Um, so you can even update this last. Now we are updating, right? So we can update this last raised amount so that in the future it will take into consideration. Just one of the exercise you can try out is it's just a variation. Add both last raised date and amount. Check if the last raised date is more than 1 year old and last raised amount is 0, then add the salary hike. So I'll just repeat the problem. So add last raised date also here, and the logic should be like consider both the cases. Like it should be more than 1 year old, last raised date, and they should have got the 0 as the hike. So try that combination. So last raised date is more than 1 year old and they have got 0 as the hike, and identify those employees and add some amount to their current salary. So that's another variant. You can try out even other variants as well for the practice purpose. So I hope this problem statement is clear and even the answer is clear to you. These are all kind of a real day-to-day use cases. We may do it in our day-to-day coding also. So I hope you understood. So practice this question after this video. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is we have to print all the employees who have the highest salary and give them a bonus of 2,000. So we have to print all the employees who have the highest salary and give them a bonus of 2,000. So let's see how to do it. So we have to basically find all the employees who have got the highest salary and add them a bonus of 2,000 and print those employees. Okay, that's how we are doing here. So similar kind of problem is solved, but this is a bit different in terms of logic actually. So we have already seen like increasing the salary based on some criteria. So here the criteria is we have to identify the employees whose salary is already highest and we have to increase their salary by 2,000. So that's a problem statement. So first what we have to do is we have to find the employee's maximum salary. So first we have to do it. I'll tell you why in the next step. So employees, let's start streaming. And what we have to do is we have to find Like we have to convert it to map to int. I'll tell you why. Because we have to play with salary. So it's like employee dot get salary. Once we got the salary of the employee, we have to find the maximum of it. Okay. So once we got the maximum, basically this will return a different type. So if you hover on it, it will return optional int. So what I'll do is I'll just call get as int. So we are streaming the employees, and after that we are converting to map to int because we want employee salary here, not the employee object. If the employee object was required, map was fine. So here we want an integer part of it, that is salary. After that, we are trying to find the maximum out of it, and we are getting out of it. So I'll just convert this into lambda expression as we always do. So now we got the maximum salary of the employee. Okay. Now how the work is done, what we have to do is again start streaming this. So we have to filter those employees whose salary is equals to maximum salary. So get salary, which is equals to max salary, which we calculated. Once we got that, what we have to do is here I'll show you a different variation to update the salary. So I'll go with a for each. So my employee will be here. So within this, what I do is maybe I'll print before bonus, before bonus. So employee I'm taking, and here it is employee, and I'll just replicate this line and just say after bonus, and we'll add a line to set the bonus here. So employee dot set salary, employee dot get salary plus 2000. But on a funny note, you can ask me why people will increase already who is getting higher salary. This is just for example. You can take even the one which is having lower salary also. So here we are using Lombok for getters and setters. We can use even for toString also. So for example, we can use toString also, but here I already added. Maybe any one of them use. I'll just take out this. So let's run and see how it works. So you can see before bonus, Bob's salary was 70K. After bonus, it is 72K. Same thing with the other employee also because they both were getting higher salary. I hope it's very clear to you. So we first identified the max salary, or first we found the max salary, and after that we compared those employees who are getting the max salary and we updated their salary by 2000. I hope it's very clear. And as I always say, please practice after watching this video so that you will understand how this is written, because even if you watch video, right, once you try to code, you will encounter a lot of questions, issues. So I would always recommend to practice. So the next question is how to create an infinite stream. This is mostly useful for interview. Day to day, we don't create any infinite stream. So let's see how to do it. So the question is we have to create an infinite stream, okay? Even though we have worked on stream, so I don't think many of you have tried to create an infinite stream. So let's see how to do it. So first thing is we have to create a stream that should be infinite, okay? Let's say a stream of integer I'm creating. So infinite stream, I can call it as. So how we can do it? So basically go for stream. Stream has a method called iterate, okay? So in iterate, what we'll do is we'll start with some value that is 0 here, and we have to specify the condition, like how the next number is calculated. You can say I plus 2. So I'm basically doing I I mean I'll start with 0. So my iteration logic is I is equals to I plus 2. So here for your understanding it will be like I equals to 0 and I increment by 2. So this is continuously happen because we are not specified any terminal condition. So if I just go here and print it, it's not recommended because it will keep on printing and Stack Overflow happens. So it will take all your memory. So let's run it. You can see it is generating lot many numbers. Keep on, it is generating. So normally recommendation is go for limit. So I'll just limit to 5. So as you know, like once you specify this limit, you can limit to only 5 results. And let's run it. It should generate the 5 results. So if I don't specify the limit, it will keep on generating the result. Okay. And you can ask me one more question. We tried only kind of um structured incremental thing like plus 2 here. So is there any possibility of generating random streams? It is possible. So maybe here what I'll do is I'll just directly print it this time. So there is a method called generate. So I would recommend see what methods it supports. You can see iterate, generate, concat, etc. So generate method, right? You can use. So for generate method, I'll pass the method reference directly. It's from math library. Uh, you know about random, right? Which is used to generate the random numbers. So here just for demo, I'll just limit to 5 and I'll try to print it. So let me run it. So it should generate some random numbers. You can see in the input. You can see in the output it has generated some random numbers. So this is another way we can do it. If I take out the limit, it will keep on generating the numbers. So it is not recommended. As I told, this is just for demo purpose. I hope you understood how to create an infinite stream. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is we have to generate Fibonacci sequence using streams. So we have to generate the Fibonacci sequence using streams. Let's see how to do it. Question is we have to generate the Fibonacci sequence using streams. So here we have to understand what is the sequence. So the first number is 0, after that 1 comes, third number is 1, fourth number is 2, fifth number is 3. So it's basically sum of previous two numbers. That's it. So here it is the same. Here it is also same. So like this way it continues. So we have to generate the Fibonacci sequence. So for this, right, what I would show is first I'll show you the Java 7 version of it so that you can understand the Java 8 version easily. So maybe I'll create first and second as a variable. First is 0, second is 1. So basically it will kind of map to first and second number in the sequence. So what we'll do is we'll start from I equals to 0, or we can start with 2 also by considering first and second is already covered. But I'll write generic logic here. I'll go up till n and increment. So what we'll do is we'll print the first. So first is 0. That's what we want in the beginning. After that, I'll create a temporary variable, okay? So which will add first and second. So that's what is required to identify the next number. So 0 plus 1 is 1. So 1 is the, like if I go here, right, first is second now, because in the next iteration when I print first, I should get the value 1. Second, I'll update it to temp. Second will also contain 1 in this case. I hope you understood. So what we are doing is first we are printing the 0 here. After that, in the temp, we are adding first and second. That is nothing but 0 and 1, that is 1 here. And temp, we are assigning it to second. So second will be 1. And first will also be 1 because we are assigning second. So loop continues. So we are printing first. So 0 and 1 is printed. Now what we'll do is first and second will add. So first is 1, second is also 1 because in the previous step we had assigned the temp. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So in temp we'll store it as 2. First I'll store it as 1 again. Second I'll store the temp, that is 2. So in the further iteration I'll print the first. So that is 1. And in this temp what we'll do is we'll add the first and second. So first is 1, second is 2. So we get the answer as 3. So like this way it will continue. I hope you understood how to do it in Java 7 way. So I'll just run and show you the output once. After that, I'll write the Java 8 variant, which is very simple. So you can see it has covered the Fibonacci sequence. Uh, so it was able to print the Fibonacci sequence. So now to do it in Java 8, what we can do is we can go for stream. Stream has something called iterate. Okay. In stream iterate, it's kind of a loop you can imagine. So what is the starting state? So this is my starting state. I'm creating an array and this is 0 and 1 index. Um, Starting stage I'll define here, that is an integer array, and 0 and 1 are the values. So I have to specify the iteration style here. What I have to do is take a number, and so I'll just say new int of, here I'll say it's a simple thing. First, second, we have to assign it to first. So second is nothing but num of 1 is the second index. And second, how we are updating, we are adding first and second. So let's do that here. That is num 0 plus num 1. I hope you got it, what I try to write. So once you reach this, we have to limit because we just want how many Fibonacci numbers, that is n Fibonacci numbers. So after that, what we have to do is we want to print the first number, like second number we are not interested. What I meant is, if you see here, we are printing the first number. So same thing I'll do here. So at this stage, right, I got the entire array with first and second array combination. So what I'll do is, so at this stage, array contains first and second number combination, like it will be kind of a full array. So in that, what I have to print is I have to print the zeroth index, because zeroth index is where the number, the first resides. And I'll just print this. So this is the solution. For the time being, I'll just comment this line and run it. So we'll iterate at every step. The same logic we are applying. First will be assigned with the value of second. Second will be assigned with value of sum of first and second. That's what we are doing here. So, and at every step, we are basically printing that. So I hope you got it. So this is how you can generate the Fibonacci sequence using Java 8. So just one thing I missed to tell is, like, the stream dot iterate with this combination, right? It will generate an infinite stream. So this is the first combination, that is 0 and 1. And the next iteration, what we are doing is it will become 1 and 1. So like this way it will continue. So if you don't add the limit, this will keep on generating the numbers. And if you want to see what is happening at every step, right, I would recommend to go for peak. So I'll add this peak statement. So what I'm doing is I'm basically taking number, it's an array. So I'll print it at every step what is happening. So I'll just run so that you will understand better, because if you simply write without understanding, right, it's no value add. So you can see first iteration 0 and 1, and here we are printing num0. That is 0 here. Same thing in the second iteration, 1 and 1, we are printing 1. Third iteration, 1 and 2, we are printing 1. Fourth iteration, we are printing 2 because num of 0. That's why we have to print the num of 0. It's basically two array of two numbers. At every step we are generating, and in that we are printing the num of 0. I hope it's very clear. So I hope you understood how you can use Peak also efficiently to understand more about the stream coding as well. Let's move on to the next question. And the next question is we have to find the longest word in the string. So we'll be given a string in the sentence format. We have to find the longest word in the string. So let's see how to do it. So here we are having a sentence. So we have to find out the longest word in this. Okay. First thing is what we have to do is we have to take the sentence, split the sentence based on space. Then we'll get the words. Okay. We'll start stream it. So once we start stream it, what we have to do is we have to find out those words whose length is maximum. So how we can do is we have to compare based on the string length. So we can use comparator, comparing int. Here we can specify, I'll go with a function reference directly. I'll compare with the length of the string. So after that, so we'll start streaming it. So what is asked? We have to find out the first longest word. So we'll just find first and we have to get that result. Once we got it, we'll just print it here. So first longest word length string is, so I'll just say the result we have to store it here. So string first longest length word, which we got. So I'm just adding it here. Let's run it. So it should print the, so you can see the first longest word length string is programming. So this is having more characters. We are just filtering the first one, okay? So I hope you understood how to find out the first longest length word. We are taking help of comparator, comparing based on the length, and we are printing the first one. So I hope you understood. So let us move on to the next question. So the question is we have to find the index of the closest element to a given value using Java streams. So we have to find the index of the closest element to a given value using Java streams. So I hope you got the question. Let's see how to solve it. So we have to find out the index of the closest element to the given number. So here target 5 is given to you. So we have to find what is, when which number is closest to it. So closest number is mainly difference between that number should be smaller. Okay. So if you see, right, for example, I'll start with um, positive number. If I have to start with negative, like first one will be minus 15 and the second one will be, so there is a difference is 3. I'm taking absolute here in case of positive number. So with 4 it is 1, with 8 it is 3, and with 15 it is 10, with 1 it is 4. So you can clearly say this is the number which is closest to the element whose index is 2. So I hope the solution is clear to you. So if it was maybe in Java 7 world, we would have taken a for loop, start iterating from the 0th index, and we should have taken the difference, and we should have added a logic to find out the smallest difference number, and that index would have returned. Okay. So similar thing we have to do it in Java 8 world as well. So how to do it in Java 8? So first is we have to basically iterate over a range, right? So I'll go with int stream range. I'll specify. So here I'll go with this one because I have to start with 0, but I don't need to go up till the last element. Like it's like less than size, less than n. That's what I'm trying to do here. And I have to do boxed here because the first line, like line number 12, it will generate int numbers. I need boxing because in the further line, right, what I'm doing is I have to find the minimum differenced number. So I'm using comparator and comparing int logic. So this requires an integer. So here what I'll do is I'll pass this num to basically I'll go with absolute EBS. So one thing is we'll take the absolute so that we'll cover even if the negative number is also nearer, we'll add it. So I'll just say numbers dot get I. So the main like line number tell the main int stream range is used for identification of index. Okay, I'll take an example. Like if we just have to find out the number which is closer to the target, how we can do it also I'll show you. So what I have to do is I have to take a difference. So what I'm doing here is first step I started iterating from 0 to uh, less than the size of the number. After that I'm converting to boxed because that is required for the next step, that is comparator comparing it. And at this step we are identifying the number with minimum index. So I can say I here for maybe index for the better readability. So at this step we got the minimum one. So I will say if we have got the minimum, that's fine. If not, what we have to do is or else we'll return -1. So this result I'll store it in int closest index. So maybe I'll add a system out statement here. What we can say is index of the, so we can say index of the closest element we'll specify that index closest index, and we may have to print the value as well. So closest value is we can just get out of that index. So it's basically numbers dot get we can just say closest index. So I'll just run this and show you the output. So basically closest index is 2 and the value is 4. I hope it's very clear. So what we have done is main is here. We are comparing the difference between the target number and all the numbers here. So the number with less difference is basically captured and printed. So corresponding index is printed. So what we'll do is we'll basically identify the number whose difference is smaller with the target, and we'll print the index of that. Okay. Let's say if the ask is to find out the even number which is close to the target. So here what we can do is we'll start with stream. Here you can ask me why directly you're streaming on numbers, because we don't want index here. So that's why I'm just starting to stream on the number. And at this stage, I have to identify if the number is even or not. So let's say here if it is equals to even, so then only I have to proceed. So after that, I will go for minimum. So here comparator logic is similar only. I can even take that logic. So maybe I'll copy this logic only, which will be useful because here we are comparing the minimum part. This will not be index here, this will be number. And I don't need to do this should be enough. And we will print the result here. If present, print it. Okay. So here what we are doing is we are identifying all the numbers which are even and close to the given number. So let me run it and show you the output. So you can see we got 4 as the answer. So let's say if this was maybe 8 or maybe 10. So let's see the answer difference now. It should basically pick up the next closest element, that is 2. I hope you got the solution. So we are basically finding the difference between target number and all the given number, and we will return the number whose difference is smaller. So that's how we will calculate. I hope this solution is very clear to you. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is we have to find the closest element which is smaller than the given value. So we have already solved a problem where we try to find out the number which is closest to the given number. But here there is a variation. We have to find the closest element that is smaller than the given value. So let's see how to do it. So the question is we have to find the closest element which is smaller than the given number. So what I would recommend is pause the video and try to solve this because you have solved similar problem. But here the solution is not exactly same as what you have solved earlier. But what I would recommend is try to solve it. After that, you can check the answer with whatever I'm writing. Okay. So the solution is we have to start iterating on the numbers. We have to do it stream, and we don't want those number which are greater than the target. So it's basically filter those number which are lesser than the target. That's the first thing. Second thing is once we got those number, what we have to do is we have to find out the closest of that. So one way is take every number, take a difference with the target and find the min difference. So that's one way to do it. Second way, what we can do is here, I'll go with something called comparator dot natural order. So what this does is it will take all these numbers which are filtered and it will sort it in the ascending order. Okay. In that we are applying the max. So that will identify the max number in that. And we'll print it. I'll explain with an example also. So if it is present, then just print it. So let's just print it first and after that I'll explain with an example. So 4.7 is the answer it is telling. I'll tell you how. So first what we'll do is we will basically filter those number which are lesser than the target. So that's the first criteria. So in that like 1.2 is one of that number and 2.7 is one more. 4.7 is also another and 4.1, 0.6, etc. So if I miss something, then don't worry. It's just for example I've taken. So next thing is at the line number 14. So here what we are doing is first we are arranging this in a natural order. So what does it mean? So here it will be 0.6. Second it will be 1.2. Third it will be 2.7. Four it will be 4.7, 4.1 and 4.7. In this, I have to find out the maximum, that is 4.7. So this is how it is done. Otherwise, as I already told you, we have to have some logic to take a difference and find the minimum from that. So I hope you got it. This is just to teach another variation. I have taken this example. I hope it's very clear to you. So try to practice different variations to understand the concept well. Let's move on to next question. So in this whole top 50 plus Java streams question, right, we could cover easy, medium, hard level question. So some questions are targeted for only interviews, some questions are targeted for day-to-day use case also. So once you solve both the part questions, right, part one and part two questions, you will be able to solve any of the Java streams questions. One of the suggestion, as I already say, don't just mug up. Take the question, try to practice. If you stuck somewhere, watch the video and practice again. Till you understand it clearly, do this exercise. So when you pick up a question, try to solve different variations of it. So that's another way to basically improve your knowledge. I hope you like the series. So if you like the series, please like and subscribe to channel and watch our other videos as well. Thank you so much.